11 games in 20 days, so it was a lot to take in. It came at me fast, but I'm also really grateful for that experience too. I think it taught me a lot about basketball. It taught me a lot about myself and how to be resilient and to come in and
The WNBA is facing an unprecedented crisis, not of talent or viewership, but of trust. Whispers of biased officiating have erupted into a full-blown roar, with fans, players, and even coaches pointing fingers at what they claim is a systemic issue of referee corruption.
Beyond today.
Yeah, late last night. I think it's very much a day-to-day thing, how she responds to treatment. I stay in my lane and let our
Particularly when it comes to the Indiana Fever and their undeniable star, Caitlin Clark. Leaked footage, viral clips, and impassioned rants from the league's biggest names are fueling a fire that threatens to scorch the WNBA's burgeoning popularity. This isn't just about bad calls, it's a spectacle of controversy, chaos, and a creeping suspicion that the game is being rigged right before our very eyes. The latest inferno igniting the WNBA landscape centers squarely on the Indiana Fever, and
I think it's just life. Everybody goes through some of the same stuff that I've gone through, and a lot of people go through a lot worse. And
a series of officiating decisions that have left fans scratching their heads and demanding answers. It's a conspiracy theory that's gaining alarming traction, a perceived bias against the Fever, often seemingly in favor of teams like the Las Vegas Aces. The biggest assist in the WNBA, it seems, isn't coming from a player with a dazzling pass, but from a referee wielding a whistle steeped in bias and, some allege, a not-so-secret loyalty to certain franchises. Take, for instance, a pivotal moment in a recent Aces Fever matchup, a play in the fourth quarter that undeniably shifted the momentum. Jackie Young is seen handing the ball off to Io Wilson, and what appears to be a moving screen by young Analia Boston is inexplicably called a foul on Boston. The referees, after a lengthy review, upheld the call. It's a moment that has gone viral, showcasing what many perceive as a blatant miscarriage of justice. As one exasperated observer put it, they say the game is played on the court, but let's be honest, these days it's being rigged from the ref stand with all the subtlety of a WWE storyline. Indeed, the WNBA referees, it seems, are not just missing calls. They're curating entire plot twists. Flagrant fouls are ignored with the same nonchalance as your ex's last text, while obvious trips, body slams, and forearm shivers appear to be invisible unless they come accompanied by a Las Vegas Aces jersey. Now, the elephant in the room, Caitlin Clark. She's currently sidelined with an injury, and her absence has only amplified the scrutiny on the officiating. Many hope that without her on the court, some of these questionable calls might subside. But as it turns out, the Caitlin effect on officiating isn't just about her presence. As one commentator emphatically stated, Caitlin Clark playing or not playing, the referees are going to make it their business to make a scene involving the Fever. Bro, they're going to not make the calls right. They're going to do all these different scenarios and look real spooky when it comes to making the proper adjustment with fouls and making sure they keep the Fever out of hot water. The bias isn't even subtle anymore. It's as if the refs are rolling in with Aces-themed water bottles, hats, and matching friendship bracelets, officiating like they've got bets on FanDuel and a group chat with Becky Hammond. It's not just favoritism, it's full-blown referee cosplay for Team Vegas. The exasperated explosion from Fever coach Stephanie White on the referees yesterday.
and that's Lexi. I mean, she's always working her tail off on the defensive end, doing all the little things that it takes to position us for success.
Perfectly encapsulates the widespread frustration. The only logical conclusion for many, however unsettling, is that someone wants the Indiana Fever to fail. How else do you explain calling hand-check fouls on their biggest player, effectively sidelining their cash cow? Could you imagine LeBron James or an SGA getting hand-check fouls that bench them? While it might not be the only reason for the Fever struggles, it certainly doesn't help when the league's biggest star, the very reason people are selling out arenas home and away, is consistently benched due to questionable calls. And while we're here pointing fingers, let's not pretend Commissioner Kathy Engelbert is blissfully unaware, sipping herbal tea in a leather chair while a dumpster fire rages under her nose. There's no way these referees are acting with such impunity without feeling 10 feet tall and bulletproof. This kind of coordinated negligence requires backing, structural, silent, shoulder-shrugging backing. When a ref consistently calls phantom fouls on one side and lets actual full-contact wrestling slide on the other, someone at the top isn't just asleep at the wheel. They're flooring it in reverse. For the WNBA, the timing couldn't be worse. Reports circulated that Caitlin Clark's brother alluded to refereeing playing a role in her injury, a post that was quickly deleted but not before it sparked further outrage. The irony is not lost on anyone. Players are out on the court giving their all, while the refs seem to be running their own secret fantasy league. You can see it in real time. One player gets hit so hard her ponytail spins counterclockwise, and the ref is tying his shoe, adjusting his glasses, maybe checking Yelp for post-game snacks. Meanwhile, the other team breathes slightly too loud, and it's a technical foul. We've reached territory where satire writes itself. The solution? Accountability. These referees shouldn't just be held accountable. They should be fined so hard it rattles their grandkids' piggy banks. Forget warnings or post-game reviews. Take a chunk of their paycheck so thick they start officiating with a rule book tattooed on their forearms. Maybe then they'll start calling games based on reality instead of whatever Vegas-themed fever dream they've been living in. Because right now it's not basketball, and the only thing more suspicious than the refs' calls is the league's deafening silence. This level of consistent corruption doesn't happen by coincidence. It feels like someone in power is handing out invisibility cloaks and golden whistles. The foul called on Aaliyah Boston, despite clear evidence of a moving screen by the opponent, left even commentators bewildered. "I don't agree with that," they stated. "It should have been called the other way." This single play in the fourth quarter irrevocably changed the momentum of the game. For the Indiana Fever, it seems nothing is changing. It's Coach Stephanie White's job to challenge these calls, to complain to the higher-ups, to get in the refs' faces. But is it enough? Perhaps the most dramatic, albeit radical, proposed solution is to bench Caitlin Clark for the season. Not because she's done anything wrong, but because, as one frustrated fan suggested, sitting her down is the only way to light a fire under the league's backside. The league won't listen to complaints. They won't respond to public outrage. But remove their golden goose, the one bringing in the eyeballs, the headlines, the ticket sales, and suddenly you'll see executives in meetings they can't skip, press releases they can't ignore, and maybe, just maybe, refs who remember what a flagrant foul looks like. Call it a protest, a sacrifice, sending a message in bold, underlined, all caps font. Meanwhile, fans aren't stupid. They've seen enough to know something stinks, and it's not the pre-game warm-up socks. It's the officiating. It's the one-sided calls. It's a mysterious way every controversial decision somehow leans toward one team, as if gravity itself favors Vegas. You'd have a better chance getting a fair game in a casino. The lack of explanation for technical fouls, the continuous pattern of unchecked physicality all season long. It's breeding frustration among the best competitive athletes in the world. When officials don't control the game, when they allow these things to happen, elite athletes will compete, and they will have their teammates' backs. And just for the record, this isn't just bad for the players. It's a PR disaster with glitter. Fans are calling it out in real time. Clips are going viral. Analysts are biting their tongues hard enough to draw blood. The only people pretending this is normal are the ones benefiting from the farce. But for everyone else, it's a masterclass in how to destroy credibility one missed call at a time. You want to grow the league? Great. Then start by fixing the foundation, because no amount of sponsorships or celebrity courtside cameos can hide the fact that officiating has turned into improv comedy with a whistle. And unless someone at the top is held accountable, this circus isn't leaving town. It's setting up a permanent residency. The investigation shouldn't start with the refs. It should start with Engelbert. The repetitive, consistent, impossible-to-ignore patterns demand it. The solution isn't complicated. Start fining referees like they're speeding through school zones. Introduce post-game accountability with consequences, not just internal reviews. And let's not forget referee Michael Price, identified by some as the bomb referee who allowed my precious CC to get injured. He's been officiating since 2013 and allegedly holds grudges against certain players, like Diana Taurasi. Clark herself reportedly told him to grow up in a past exchange. Transparency must become the standard, not a luxury. And while we're at it, put Kathy Engelbert under the same microscope she's refused to shine on anyone else, because either she's complicit or catastrophically incompetent, and neither option screams good for the league.